Start the podcast.
Whoa! I love how you smacked your microphone the second you started.
Wham.
That was awesome. Boom! Whoa! Welcome to an explosive new episode of the Brothers Game podcast. With me, it's your boy, Nicolai.
And me, Brian. Hello.
That's your other boy.
That's right.
Yo. What is up?
What is up?
Firstly, I just need to say we need to hurry up and get this done so that I can go home and play the DLC for Scarlet and Violet.
Oh, it's out.
It is out as of 6 p.m. today.
Okay.
Tonight
So
is the first day of it.
Something to do tomorrow night when I get home.
Indeed, yes. I'm going to I want to play like I could play it for half an hour maybe or something. But yes, it's happening. It's here.
Whereas, as usual, I'm going straight to bed after this recording.
Yeah. I mean, I probably should do that. I just won't do that, you see.
Yeah.
Yes, so today is the 12th of September. It is coming out the 13th of September, but it's simultaneous with Japan. So it is tomorrow there. So it released early for us, which is pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm already hearing
Time travel
I've already heard reports of better load times, of better like less laggy things. One thing I saw, which I was so thrilled about, is box navigation. There's no like jagged loading in of like icons and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because it was a really annoying thing. You'd go to a box and it would take a few seconds for the Pokemon to actually appear in the box. I don't know if you remember that.
No, I do, but I've seen that in other Pokemon games, I think.
Sure.
So
I mean, I'm noticing I'm playing X and Y, doing my national decks, and it's super quick, super responsive. It's nice to see that that's been fixed and stuff.
Yeah.
So anyway, very thrilled. We'll talk about it more next time when we've actually played it some more. But yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah. I haven't actually played anything since the last episode.
Okay.
I finished Sun and Moon, and then I haven't picked up another game yet.
What are you thinking?
I don't know. I still have a stack of JRPGs.
I mean, obviously you'll have the DLC for this to play.
Yeah, that too. So that's probably going to be the first thing I do is just
it's
play
a
the DLC,
it's a new region.
Yeah.
It's not in Paldea.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah. It's called the Kitakami, I think, region. It's like a different region.
Is it not just that section that was blocked off?
I'm pretty certain it's a new region completely.
Okay.
I don't know how far away it is or whatever. But
Yeah.
Anyway, it's very interesting.
Interesting.
Really
Okay.
cool. About 100 returning Pokemon from previous gens that weren't in the main game. So that's really cool.
Yeah.
And some of my favorites, like the Poliwhirl line, Vulpix Ninetales. I'm pretty sure the Porygon line. So like some of my go-to favorite Pokemon. So I'm very excited about that.
Yeah. It's like I have some JRPGs to play. I've got a couple of Xbox games, some that are quite a bit older at this point, like the original Assassin's Creed.
Oh,
not like 2 or 4 or 7 or whatever. No, the first one, because I never actually beat the first one, and I would like to.
Hey, all right. I mean, I loved it back then. I don't know if it would still hold up for me now, but yeah.
I honestly, the way I am, it'll probably feel like I just picked up right where I left off, frankly. So
yeah, no, I get that. That's awesome. Well, I have been obsessed and fully in the Pokemon mode.
Yeah. Now that you finally got that shiny, now you're back to just playing.
I can just do what I was wanting to do. That's what I was doing, catching Kyurem in the first place. Was I needed it for to transfer up.
And then you thought. And then naive little Nicolai was like, "Oh, let's shiny hunt it. Why not?
A quick shiny hunt. It's fine. It won't take 6 months, I thought." So I got the national decks completed at least a week ago, maybe even 2 weeks ago now at this point. And that is having caught every single Pokemon up to Gen 6.
Yeah.
And that is 719 Pokemon. There's 721 total, but that's 2 mythicals that I can't get my hands on.
Yeah.
So hopefully I'll wonder trade enough to have genned fake ones gotten to me.
Yeah.
So that I at least have the Pokedex entries.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take it.
That's definitely more than I've ever done, I think.
Yeah, it's a daunting task, honestly. and
think
it's definitely time consuming. But,
so. I obviously got the Kanto Pokedex. And I did actually get that one legitimately finally. I've never done Johto legitimately.
yeah, I think it's one of the hardest to do,
Yeah, because I cheated back
especially
when
like
I was a kid to do it.
especially like a full living dex
Yeah.
is so difficult in Gen
I even
2.
had a Celebi, which I might have game sharked in.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
It's really cool that you can get that legit now
Yeah.
in the virtual console version of Crystal.
Oh.
You can get a legitimate Celebi in there.
That's cool.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah.
I've never completed the Hoenn Dex. I've never even tried, honestly.
Yeah, that might be fun sometime. I have an Emerald cartridge.
Yeah. I've never completed the Sinnoh Pokedex, but I have completed the Hisui Pokedex. So
Yeah, so
that's sort of
basically
the same thing.
and better in many ways.
Yeah.
So
Never even gotten close to completing the Unova Dex or the
'cause
Kalos Dex.
by then you're at 600 plus Pokemon. Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the national dexes in those games.
Right.
I'm just talking
Regional.
about just that
Yeah.
regional dex.
Didn't you do the regional in Sun and Moon though?
I did.
Okay, so that was the first one where you're like, I'm doing the whole thing.
That was one of the. That's maybe the
tough.
hardest that I've done. Besides, well,
It's work.
there are like 3 Pokemon in Hisui and like 2 or 3 in Paldea that were really hard.
Yeah.
But otherwise, they were the rest of the dex was pretty easy. But yeah, Sun and Moon was
They've definitely
challenging.
made it easier over the time, but
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a few roadblocks you got to get past. A lot of them are, first of all, Gen 1 Pokemon are really hard to get in Gen 6.
Yeah.
It's interesting how like one of the hardest to get is Pokemon like Meowth. And
Yeah.
just like Pokemon you don't think of it, like Rattata
Yeah.
was a journey to get a Rattata. So like little things like that, because obviously I have Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and between that and X and Y, it's a lot of Pokemon. Like it's most of them. But yeah, I had to catch and transfer up from Platinum and Heart Gold up to Gen 5 White 2 and then up to X and
Yeah.
Y just to get some specific Pokemon. And then there's the task of actually evolving all of them
Yeah.
and like collecting all the stones available. A lot in X and Y, a lot of the only ways to get some stones, or at least multiple of them, is from the super training, like the little balloon mini game.
Yeah.
For that exactly. But it's like a mini game where you can EV train your Pokemon. And they kind of float around, and there's like these balloons of different Pokemon, and you like throw soccer balls at them to destroy these balloons. Anyway, if you do it in a time limit, you get you have a chance to get certain stones and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was a nightmare just to get like a moonstone.
Yeah.
Like again, things you don't think about.
No.
And so I did finally do that. I had a specific grinding spot also.
Yeah.
So just after Victory Road, or well, I guess at the end of Victory Road, so it's in a cave. I have a Venusaur that I use Sweet Scent outside of battle, which makes a Horde battle appear.
Yeah.
And fairly common in that area is a Horde of Floatzel,
Okay.
and they're about level 29, and it's one of the highest consistent ways to get EXP, because I think you can get like over 6,000 XP
yeah.
from this. And I use Petal Blizzard, so I just one shot all of them.
Yeah.
You know, with this level 100 Venusaur, so it's pretty quick too. And I think it's one of the quicker ways to do it. And because I've played through like 4 different games and stuff, I have lucky eggs from each game,
Oh yeah.
so I can give those to everyone in my party, and that
Nice.
helps a ton.
Yeah.
So, like starters, for instance, if I have a breeded level 1 starter, give it a lucky egg, and I do the Floatzel battle, they will get to level 16 after 1 battle.
Nice.
So, totally worth it.
Yeah.
Like, really quick. It's 1 battle. Like, sometimes it takes a few tries to get the Floatzels. Often you'll just get Geodudes.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's totally worth it and super quick for stuff like that. So, didn't take too long. Got the National Dex. Went over to Professor Sycamore and got the Shiny Charm from that. So now my Shiny odds are twice as good, which is really cool. And it's already X and Y, and that's when the Shiny odds were halved in the first place. So now it's around 2,000 Shiny odds. Also, what's really nice is through Wonder Trading, I got a Japanese Ditto,
Oh yeah.
which means now when I breed, I have a much higher chance to get shiny Pokemon from breeding. That's the
interesting.
Masuda method. I don't know if you've heard of that. Basically, if you breed a Pokemon from your region with a Pokemon from a different region, their shiny odds go up.
It's
like
not because it's
8
Japanese,
times.
it's because it's
Just
because it's a different region.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you get like 8 times better chance of a shiny.
Because at first when you said that, I was like, oh, is there something special about Japanese Ditto
Right.
that it just...
It was just one that was obviously a different region, I guess. Yeah. So anyway, I got really good shiny odds now, which is really cool. But are you saying something? You seem to be looking something up.
Yeah, I am looking something up. So just keep going.
I got plenty still. So basically, I did that, but I wasn't done there because I wanted to be a psycho,
Yes.
and I decided I'm going to do a living dex, not just a national Pokedex. I want a national living dex.
Yeah.
So I have this great website. I think it's called Poke Tracker or something like that. You can save these really well organized checklists of Pokemon. They have like little pictures. They're broken up into boxes, like literally the 5x6.
Oh yeah.
Which is super helpful too for organizing because that was a whole thing. I had to organize this whole box.
Yeah.
It takes like 25 boxes I think to hold these 720 Pokemon. And so I did this thing where like I named the box 1 through 30.
Yeah.
Named box 2 31 through 60.
Or you can even change the names of the boxes.
You can name
Interesting.
them. Yeah. So like
I forgot
organizing
that
an
was a
X
thing
and
in some of the
Y
newer games.
and onward is way easier
Yeah.
than some older gens. So like it still work, but they make it much easier on you.
In Legends Arceus, I did it. It's not quite a living dex because I'm missing a few, but I more or less had one. Like I had like over 80% of a living dex, and I used up I had 11 boxes going, and I just
So like naming them that made it way easier because I could be in a box and I could just pick the Pokemon, look at its dex number, and then go to all the boxes and know which box it goes into like immediately. And then I could just organize per box by then. So that took about, that took a few hours still, but
that would have saved me some time, honestly, in my history decks.
Well, and obviously it's on DS, so I have a little stylus. I can just drag stuff. Like it's really nice. I really love the UI and everything of X and Y. It's one of the reasons it's one of my favorite games.
Yeah.
I just really enjoy the look and feel of it. So after organizing and doing the checklist of what I actually had per box, I was missing like 250 Pokemon, which is more than I thought.
Yeah.
Like, so I have them all logged to my Pokedex, but because I had to evolve them and all that, I needed a lot of Pokemon.
Yeah.
But that was maybe a week ago now that I was like, okay, living dex is happening. I'm at only like 100 left.
Oh, nice.
I've been able to do it pretty quickly between just breeding, straight up breeding, for like lower stuff, and then just catching. like I said, between X and Y and Alpha Sapphire, Omega Ruby, there's a lot you can just catch. And obviously the pre-evolutions are more often what you can catch.
Yeah.
And so I can just go through different routes, be like, oh, I need this and this and this. And the resources we have now, with Cerebi and Bulbapedia and this little tracker app, it's very convenient compared to a lot of the olden days.
It reminds me when I was doing a living dex for Pokemon Red, how there were some Pokemon I skipped because it's like, why bother catching a level 2 Pidgey now when I can wait until I have Surf and then get a level like 23 Pidgey south of Pallet Town?
Right. There you go. Exactly. Yep.
So, yeah.
Yep. You got to, I've definitely had that where I had to look at sometimes even cross game, like check X and Y and then check Alpha Sapphire. Maybe it's better there, stuff like that. Because the Dex Nav in Alpha Sapphire is really handy and really good for picking out specific Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because you can see what's in the grass. So that was really helpful too. So I am going in order, sort of. So Gen 1 is done.
Yeah.
Except for Rhydon. I
interesting.
still need to evolve my Rhyhorn. So, because it's level 40, it evolves at 42 or something like that. So, and there's no way to catch Rhydon anywhere.
Yeah.
And I think the highest level Rhyhorn was like level 12 or something.
Oh,
So,
wow.
yeah, there were no Victory Road Rhyhorns
Yeah.
to go for or anything. So,
Oh, you can't just go to Cerulean Cave and get a ride on?
yeah, not in this one. So that's all I'm missing for Gen 1, and I'm almost done with Gen 2 also.
Yeah.
So pretty good. I have not found a shiny yet,
No.
randomly. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't, just from looking in grass, from breeding and stuff. But I'm sure it's coming any second now, basically.
When I played when I finished my Pokedex in Silver originally when I was a kid, I did get every unknown.
Oh,
And
nice.
while I had Master Balls, like obviously it wouldn't have been that much harder to catch them.
They're not too hard to catch. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I did get every one of the letters.
Nice. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think you can do that in ORAS, because I think there's a Mirage Island that has different unknowns.
Yeah.
At different times of day and stuff. I wonder if I should. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. But we'll see.
Yeah.
It's really cool how many legendaries you can catch everywhere. Like, that was pretty easy to catch all the legendaries, because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire have tons of legendaries to catch in the post game. When you could start flying around the map on your little Latios. I don't know if you remember that, but there's some really interesting prerequisites. Like, if you have a cast form in your party, then there's like a storm cloud that'll appear. And depending on which game you're in, if you go into that storm cloud, it'll be Thundurus or Landorus or something, right? Like, or I mean Tornadus. And then once you catch those, you have to have both of them, which they're both in different games. When you have both of them in your party, then Landorus will show up.
Yeah.
So like little things like that. So that was pretty fun actually to hunt down the different legendaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how hard it is to catch normally, but it felt really good, even if it's easier than most other legendaries, to catch Dratna with one Ultra Ball.
Oh, that's super good.
Yeah.
No, that's really rare, because I think he's one of the harder ones.
Because he's only level 47 when you find him, so he's a lot lower than a lot of legendaries.
I think his catch rate is like most others, where it's like 3, I think.
Yeah.
Which is almost as low as it could be. It's funny. When I went to catch Landorus, he was super strong, and I was kind of afraid of him, but I caught him in the second Dusk Ball I used.
Oh, yeah.
No problem at all. And then catching Registeel was like 20 Dusk Balls.
Yeah.
And like 4 revives, and like that was a journey, man. Yeah. So, and they have the exact same catch rate. So I don't know.
I think the Pokemon that
random.
took the most Pokeballs of any kind for me to catch was one of the legendaries in Crown Tundra of Sword.
Really? Okay.
I think so.
Like Reguleki, or
it might have been.
Yeah.
I can't remember for sure, but it was one of those, because I remember using like more than 50 Ultra Balls.
That's nuts. Yeah, man.
So I think I went in with like 20 or something, and it didn't work, and so I came back with 99.
You're like, let's go. I ain't leaving here without you.
We could do this the easy way or the hard way, the quick ball versus the...
I was picturing Captain America. I could do this all day, sort of thing. So that makes sense. It's a journey, but it'll be really cool when I have the National Dex, because then I could go to the Pokemon Bank, put them all in there, load up Alpha Sapphire, move them all in there. I now have the entire National Dex in Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah.
So I can get the
You don't need to do any extra work to just get it in.
Get the shiny charm, no problem. And I probably will then transfer all those up to... I'm scared because it's a one-way transfer.
Yeah.
After you go to Sun and Moon, even though they're from X and Y, you can't go back to the bank and then back to X and Y. It doesn't work that way.
Okay.
Once they've been in Sun and Moon, they're in Gen 7 now. And so I'm scared to make that leap, but I love Sun and Moon too, and I'd love to have the National Dex there too.
Yeah.
Because I have Sun, Moon, and Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon. So I could get every Pokemon in the Alola region
Yeah.
than have the entire national dex like that. I could continue the living dex sort of. So I probably will do that eventually. But I'll probably enjoy X and Y for a little more first. Do some shiny hunting and stuff.
Yeah.
One of the main methods in there is the fishing method. Basically, you can chain fishing in X and Y.
Okay.
And so if you do successful fishing, more for each one, the shiny odds get a little better. And so you can get some pretty cool shinies in there. So
Cool.
it'd be pretty cool to get like a pink Dragonair,
Yeah.
or like actually Relicanth has a really cool shiny. He's like all blue.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
Goes from that really boring like brown to blue, and yeah, there's quite a bit I could do in there. So
I really like shiny Nidoking.
Oh, yeah. He's cool.
It's unfortunate that Gen 1 didn't have shinies because you don't
Yeah.
get to appreciate some of the cool ones.
like Shelder's a super bright, beautiful blue.
Yeah.
Lapras's purple is beautiful. I love shiny Lapras.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's quite a few good Gen
But of
1
course, we didn't
shinies.
have individually colored sprites until yellow.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah.
Quite a jump that was. Yeah. Good stuff.
Okay, so I have a spreadsheet here.
Okay. Tell me about your spreadsheet.
Hold on. Apple Face ID can't recognize me through my pop filter.
That's
so-
weird. You look all... It filters out all the pop. Can't even see you.
So I talked about this several episodes ago about the effective health formula. And
Okay, yeah.
just to reiterate, it's like...
This is Pokemon, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like health times 100 divided by...
Grumble.
What's that? It's
Make sure, if you have your pen and paper at home, make sure to
Yeah.
write this down.
HP divided by 100 plus 1 multiplied by defense. That is
Okay.
your effective health.
Effective health.
Basically, if you have 100 health and 0 defense, then your effective health is 100. But if you have 100 health and 50 defense, it's more than 100 because the defense makes your health better. So that's the idea behind effective health.
Makes
so I
sense.
used this formula, and then I also did it for special. So I did it for defense and for special, and then I did an average of the two. So what I came up with was...
This is Gen 1 special, right? It's just a single
Right.
stat that refers to attack and defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've done this with hold on, sorry. I've done this with
You can do it.
I don't know what I was about to say. Anyway, moving on. So
Get that out of my gun.
and I did a play with some of these Pokemon. So at the very top of the list by a wide margin is Chansey because of how stupidly high its health is.
Okay.
It's
yeah.
ridiculously high.
Isn't its defense not that
It's-
good, though?
Yeah, even though its defense is only 5, its health is so high that it's still but
good. Interesting.
The thing is, the effective health formula heavily weighs health above defense, even
okay.
though having higher defense gives you better effective
Even
health.
though you can still one-shot a Chansey pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, to quick recap, so the top 5 would be Chansey number 1. I actually have Chansey excluded from this list just because of its low defense. But
Yeah.
so Chansey would be number 1, but because I have it
forget
excluded
Chansey,
and I
yeah.
have legendaries excluded, the list is now Snorlax, then Lapras, then Vaporeon, then Wigglytuff, and then Executor.
Okay. Those are all decent Pokemon otherwise also.
Yeah.
Not just tanky.
So then I flipped the formula. I was like, okay, let's prioritize
favor
defense and
defense.
special
Okay.
and downplay health.
So like Onyx is up there.
You would think, but no. Hold on.
He's terrible.
So, in fact, the top 5 really doesn't change that much.
Okay.
Except, Chansey was still way too high, so I just
Yeah,
eliminated
forget
Chansey again.
But you're
But,
like, listen, I'm not using a Chansey.
Yeah. So, Executor moves up to number 1.
Oh, dang. Okay. Because he's strong, too.
Snorlax is way down at number 20.
Okay. So he's mostly
Yeah.
HP.
And again, I am excluding legendaries. Obviously, Mewtwo would be at the top.
Yes. Because he just
Which
has a
he
high
should be.
stat total. Yeah.
Like, Mewtwo was not at the top of the original formula.
Okay.
Just
interesting.
because Chansey's health was so much higher.
Yeah.
So he
He's
is
tanky.
at the top of
Yeah.
this formula, which makes sense. And say the legendary birds were all very high up there as well. But so Executor moves to the top, and then Omastar,
Oh, interesting.
who
Who's
was
a good Pokemon too.
way down at number 27 on the old list. And then Lapras and Vaporeon still managed to stay in the top 5 because they're both absolute tanks.
Love both of them. Yep.
And then Cloyster, who has
So
180 defense. So
Cloyster's a beast too. In later gens, with the move Shell Smash, Cloyster's a beast.
yeah. And then of course Dragonite, who tanky.
Yeah. Often pseudo legendaries, will be up there.
But yeah, Onyx is still, because of how low his health is,
He just sucks.
down at 50.
Jeez, that's crazy.
And that's with the formula that favors defense over health.
Why did they make him so bad?
I don't know.
It's really interesting.
It's really sad.
Even Steelix isn't that good.
Yeah.
Very strange.
I knew Weezing would be fairly high up. He's number 18 because every time I fought a Weezing, they take a while to
you're
kill.
like, why aren't you dead yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, you use confusion with your Kadabra, and you're like, you didn't die in one hit?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I've ever had that problem, but I have had the problem of
confusion, not psychic. It could happen. It could happen.
I have had the problem of Surf not taking one out with Blastoise, and that is surprising because generally by that point in the game, I'm one-shotting everything with Surf.
That makes sense.
So yeah, Executor, he is the tankiest non-legendary according to this formula.
Nice.
According to the other formula, it's Snorlax. Again, not counting Chansey because it only has 5 defense.
It's not bad. I like Snorlax. Yeah. He's fun to use sometimes.
Snorlax was very good on my anti-Mewtwo team in Pokemon Stadium.
Interesting.
I had to come up with a team that had high enough special resistance and could do enough physical damage to take out Mewtwo. And I had to use rental Pokemon because I didn't have any legit level 100s, and I was beating Mewtwo legit. So I had to use rental Pokemon from Pokemon Stadium. But I did beat him, and Snorlax was a key player.
Nice. That's cool.
I think Executor might have been on the team, too, just because it's Grass Psychic. And, very high special. And
that's a good Pokemon.
Yeah.
Executor is tough. Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, it might be fun to play Pokemon Stadium, even though on the Switch there's only, you can't transfer your Pokemon into it, but it could still be fun with rentals and stuff.
So after looking at all these lists and stuff, it's like, okay, so what I've wanted to do for a while now, and it was because my playstyle always involves using Pokemon that are very fast and have very high attack strength.
Yeah, you like glass cannons typically.
Yeah, I always have a team of glass cannons, and it's like the best defense is a good offense.
Yeah,
you kill them before they can hurt you, and then it doesn't matter how glassy you are.
If you just one shot them, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, so I almost want to play a game
mode method.
Play a game of Pokemon Red with some genned Pokemon that have unusual stats and just tank their attack stat, just absolutely obliterate it,
but it doesn't
make
matter
them super
they're
tanky
unkillable.
and just try playing the game that way.
Interesting. Yeah,
because it would be so different from how I normally play.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And just literally going in and altering their stats to make it happen.
Because after going through all these spreadsheets, it's like, okay, because one of the things is I don't want them to be too good. And it seems like all the tankiest Pokemon are also really good. And
you'll have to cut Executor's special.
Yeah.
Which will hurt his defense.
I'm even thinking of having a Charmander or something, but with a really terrible attack stat and a really strong or something like that.
Like normal Pokemon.
Yeah. Interestingly, so you think of the starters as being pretty strong. Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle as being pretty strong.
I don't think of Charizard as being strong.
I think the majority of people think of them as being strong, and Charizard is strong-ish. Venusaur is strong. Blastoise is strong.
For sure.
Squirtle is one of the weakest water types.
Yeah.
Period. Stat-wise, same with Bulbasaur and Charmander are
Yeah,
all
they're
pretty
pretty
weak.
terrible.
And their second
Charmander's
stages aren't much
terrible.
better compared to other second stages.
Yeah.
It's not until they reach their third stage they get a huge power boost.
Yeah.
And there's obviously none of those three are the best of any of those types, but they're all obviously strong. So if you just don't evolve them past their second stage, well, so that's a huge handicap.
Yes, definitely.
Because now you have like Wartortle is not as good as Seeking. It's not as good as Kingler. It's not as good as Dugong even.
Right.
So
Definitely not nearly as good as like Vaporeon and
yeah.
the top end ones.
So yeah, if I had like a Wartortle who has naturally high defense but not especially high,
Yeah.
I just like pretend it has a nature that gives it bad attack, that cuts its attack and
Right.
boosts its defense,
Okay.
or something like that. Yeah,
Yeah. But like more, maybe even more severely. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that'd be really interesting. Yeah, just in general, sort of baby runs are kind of fun,
yeah,
where like you just can't evolve Pokemon basically at all.
yeah.
I do
Yeah,
I
just
like that concept.
Just like
in
that
general.
too many rules playthrough because
Yeah.
I played all the way to Silph with just a Bulbasaur.
Yeah. I'm watching a very similar VOD. I'm watching like the full VOD where he couldn't catch Pokemon
Yeah,
in Fire Red. So he has a Bulbasaur and he's not going to get a Pokemon until Eevee.
yeah,
But well, he has he bought the Magikarp, but he's not allowed to evolve Pokemon.
Right.
So it's just a Magikarp and it's totally useless. Yeah. So
yeah. I bought the
It's fun.
Magikarp and used it to switch.
yeah, exactly. You can use it as a switch pretty well.
Yeah. So speaking of all that, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos of like streamed playthroughs of a couple of different people. One, I forget his channel name, but he played a hardcore Nuzlocke, but he didn't use the species clause, which is where if you encounter a Pokemon that you've already caught before, you can re-roll.
Oh, gotcha.
It's very common in hardcore Nuzlocke.
Right.
And he said, I'm not going to do that.
I'm just going to have all Bidoofs.
No,
Okay.
all Gyarados.
All Gyarados run?
He got, as soon as he got the old rod, every new route that he could fish,
He would just
he would get a Magikarp and he would evolve it to Gyarados. So
the
his
all Gyarados
the
run.
team that he beat the Elite Four with was 5 Gyarados and his starter, his Swampert, his
Wow.
whatever Swampert's evolution is.
That is Swamp. It's Swampert's the last one.
Is it?
I'm pretty sure.
All right.
It's
Because Mudkip,
Mudkip.
something.
Swampert.
Yeah. Okay.
Marshtomp,
Marsh Stomp.
then
Yes.
Swampert.
Okay. Swampert
Got it.
is the third form.
I'm
Yep.
the Pokemon guy.
Yeah.
I have a national dex.
I have never.
I should know
I
all
have
the
never
names
caught a
of
Mudkip. I
Pokemon.
don't think ever.
I'm uniquely qualified as I should know
Yeah.
every name through Gen 6, you would think. So,
Whereas if they came out after Gen 2, I've
and I should
never
know
heard of
roughly how they evolve because I've done it. Yeah.
But that was a very fun one to watch.
That sounds awesome. Yeah.
And he gave them all names, of course, and he had like
Always
little
fun.
backstories for them all.
Nice. I love when they add flair to it like that. The flavor text can be very fun.
He had one that had like a nature and like IVs, so that its special was higher than its special attack was higher than its regular attack.
That makes sense. You'd have different sort of styles of Gyarados.
It was terrible.
Oh, I bet.
Because-
because his base stat is not high.
Yeah, exactly. So his
So-
special attack was never high enough to actually like land any really good hits.
Yeah. Yep, that makes sense. That's awesome. Yeah, I've always wanted to do like a gym leader run where I just
Yeah.
have a single type
Yeah.
focused, basically. I've never really done it. I should definitely do that.
Yeah.
Do like a water playthrough or something.
Yeah, and I feel like water's one of the easiest types to do it with.
and it's just one of my
It's
go-to
a very
types.
versatile type.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I would still focus on water. I wouldn't like lean too heavily in their secondary types.
I
Try
don't think
not
I
to.
have ever done a Pokemon playthrough without a water type. Ever.
Really, I have. I definitely have.
I think I should do that sometime. just do one without a water type because
You
I
should do
never
weird, weird fringe types.
Yeah.
Like focus on, grass, poison, bug, and rock.
Yeah.
Like ones you don't, normally don't lean towards.
Yeah.
Maybe like a normal type. Throw a Persian in there or something. Just like something very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure. It's still going to be easy because it's Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it is.
Because it's Gen 1.
Yeah.
But like, also, I'm okay with it being easy.
Yeah.
That's
no,
not-
I mean, there's
Pokemon
no
isn't
way I would
fun
have played.
because it's hard.
Right. There's no way I would have started and played it and beat it and then done all that all over again like 50 times in one summer if it wasn't
Exactly.
easy.
Yeah. Well, and it's like if you can only enjoy Pokemon if it's a hardcore Nuzlocke and you're like constantly being challenged, I don't know if Pokemon is for you.
Yeah, I think you're maybe playing the wrong game.
Maybe you play a different game or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's funny.
Yeah, and I'm not really interested in like getting to the level where I'm doing like a hardcore Nuzlocke Kaizo
Yeah, me either.
or something.
I'm really not
That
interested.
is
It's fun to watch though.
Yeah.
For sure.
just watching somebody who is like a pro fail at it over and over again makes
Yeah.
me realize I never ever want to go through that kind of pain.
Well, it's not
But-
just it's the difficulty and annoyance, but also just the time investment.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh.
I thought Red was very good in terms of being a more difficult Pokemon without being ridiculously stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. That's cool. I really like the really unique ROM hacks
Yeah.
that are just very different. Like I love when it's like it looks like Emerald, but Palossand is in it.
Yeah.
And like fairy types are in it.
It's actually really cool when
Stuff
they've
like that. I think
managed
it's
to
really
make
cool.
these like 32-bit sprites of
Yeah, and they look so legit.
Yeah.
Like if that Gen 6 Pokemon was in this game, that is exactly how it would look. Like, dang, there's some really good pixel artists out there.
yeah.
Yeah, I love that. And like the Fusions game, the Pokemon Infinite Fusions.
Yeah.
Do you know about that? Have you seen those sort of like fusions of Pokemon? and
Yeah,
stuff?
I have. I know there's a website where you can do that.
So that was the like genesis of it. But then an artist, or probably a team of artists, made like really good fusions,
Yeah.
and then made like a full ROM hack where that's the game.
Yeah.
And like you can take two Pokemon in your box and fuse them together, and it's like good art.
Wow.
It's not like
That's cool.
It's not like a horrifying mishmash, and like sometimes it's like a meme. There's like it's like a joke almost. Like it's hard to explain because it's so vast actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it's a full playable, really well done ROM hack where you could just fuse different Pokemon.
Fuse Magikarp with every other Pokemon.
Exactly. I would look up. So after this, go look up people doing different fusions because they're really fun. Some of them are hilarious, and some of them are just super cool. Often, like the Gardevoir ones are just sick. Just like Gardevoir Absol just looks like the edgiest, coolest thing in the world. Like stuff like that. So yeah, it's very fun, but also like a real game and like well thought out and stuff. So I would love to try that sometime. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. Oh, Pokemon.
Yeah. Oh, Pokemon, you never let us
You
down.
never let us. Oh, poop.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So I had a collection of guitar pedals that I collected.
Changing subject.
Yes. This is just more
That's
along
good.
the lines of
That's
this
good.
is what I've been doing lately.
Yeah. I have stuff too. That's good.
So instead of playing video games, this is what I've been using my time for lately. So I had a big collection of pedals that I had obtained over a couple of years. And I was buying and selling and trying different pedals and watching lots and
Business.
lots of YouTube videos to find out which ones I wanted. Because here's the thing. There's like 80 bajillion overdrive pedals.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of the same, except they're all a
Kind
little
of the
different.
same. Yeah, exactly.
But there's like over 100 like tube screamers. And so like, and they might all sound maybe slightly a little bit different, but they're all tube screamers. So like,
Yeah.
if you like one, you'll like all the rest.
Yeah. It's like the coffee grinder stuff I watch.
Yeah.
It's all like It's like, yeah, there might be some nuance, but for $1,000, is it worth it?
And so, like, I actually went on the lookout for, okay, so most overdrives are just copies of other overdrive designs. So what are some of the most unique sounding ones? And so I'd get a list of those and I'd try some of those. But that gets expensive. An overdrive pedal is often like $200.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
For what? Yeah, exactly.
And if you want to try like 10 of them, well, that's $2,000 unless you buy and sell. And so I was doing that to some degree. And then delays and reverbs and a modulation pedal that just had like every kind of modulation, chorus, phaser, flanger, etc. And I had this like full-size pedal board, and it's like, obviously I don't need one. I never actually play guitar live.
Yeah.
I play bass at our church, and I have a little bass pedal board that has like a preamp and an overdrive and a compressor, and that's all I need for bass.
Yeah.
But
it's not like you're some shredding musician.
Yeah, no.
Or something.
And like, I wasn't going to play it at church. I wasn't going to go play at the local bar. Like,
right.
So this was literally just for my bedroom.
It's hobby. It's fun.
But it was cool.
Yeah, it's hobbyist. It's fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pedals are cool.
Nothing
they
wrong
look
with
cool.
that.
They sound cool. They're fun to play with.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
But I found that I was really not playing them very often.
It's just, taking up
And
space
so they were
almost.
just sitting there.
Yeah.
I had like $1,000 worth of pedals just sitting on the floor, not being used. I was like, okay, well, let's do something with them instead. So Line 6 makes a multi-effect unit called the Helix, and it has amp models, cabinet models, and models of tons of different
Huge,
effects pedals. And what's cool about that is instead of buying 10 different overdrive pedals to try, I can just try each of the overdrive models inside the multi-effects unit and find which one in there that I like.
It's like
best.
it's like a little MIDI computer.
Yeah. And I love that kind of stuff. And I love tweaking and stuff. And it gives me all these different ways that I can route the signal and everything. So that should be here about Friday.
Sweet.
So
you'll go nuts for that.
I have actually sold enough pedals to cover the cost of it. So it's kind of no cost to me.
Right. Or at least money you've already used.
Yeah, exactly.
So definitely.
I've managed to sell almost all of my pedals. I have just a couple left.
Nice.
And the Helix will be here by the end of the week, and that's going to be a fun thing to dive into.
New toy to use. Yes. And doesn't take up as much space. It's one little thing.
Yeah. I mean, I got the bigger one, but still, it's not
big,
that big.
But it's not 10 pedals also.
And I can have it plugged into my computer, and I can just like tweak everything,
That's nice,
every little thing, and But what's cool is I can also, I don't need it to be plugged into my computer to use it, which is also nice, because they make a plugin for your computer that is actually cheaper than the hardware unit that you can just do it all through your computer.
Oh wow.
Which I played with a free trial of it for a little while, but I like that with the hardware unit, I don't even need my computer on. I can just play that too.
Do stuff on it. Nice.
So
cool. I mean, that's what I did with like Pokemon cards. I had a lot of them, and a lot of ones I didn't really care about that were worth some money, you know? And I sold enough of them to buy a $600 coffee grinder.
Yeah.
A very nice, very awesome coffee grinder. But that I use basically every single day. It's very well made. It'll last years and years to come. Like that is worth way more to me than the Pokemon cards I sold for it, you know? So like that's great that when you can take your hobbies and sort of buy and sell enough to fund your hobbies more. I love that.
You can like keep the money within your hobbies. It's
basically,
like everything that goes out just comes back in, and it's all like, it's a closed loop.
And it's fun because then you can keep getting new stuff, which is sort of half the fun of a hobby.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just getting stuff. Especially, I feel like that's a guy thing too, just collecting things,
and like
cool things.
I'm the planner. Like by the time I buy something, I've already put days, weeks, months of planning into this purchase.
Yeah.
Like,
yep, I get that.
And I do a lot of window shopping and like, ooh, I could do this, I could do that. So I also really like guitars, and it's funny because again, I really don't play the electric guitar, the 6-string electric guitar.
Not really,
I don't really play it that much.
Yeah,
but I love it. It's my favorite instrument. I love the sound of it. I love.
I mean, it's awesome.
It's really fun to fiddle with. I'm a bass player. I can actually play bass to some level of competence.
Yeah,
and I have a nice bass. but it's like
guitars
it's kind
are-
of boring
but guitars are
comparatively
cool.
speaking. Whereas there are like 7 guitars I want to own.
Yeah.
I
Take
own
that,
2
bass
very
players.
nice ones, but there's a few more. And so like there's this website Warmoth or Warmoth. They do like licensed Fender copies.
Oh, okay.
So like they're copies of Fender designs, but Fender basically gives them the okay because they pay a licensing fee or whatever. So they make drop-in replacement necks and bodies that you can.
Nice.
And so
That's
I
nice.
have gone on their
It's
website.
nice to be able to get parts and stuff.
Yeah, I've gone on their website and designed like 30 different guitars over the years, and like. I first found out about them
That's
like
fun,
over a
too.
decade ago.
Because that's like character creation.
Yeah,
which is
exactly.
the best part of most video games.
Yes.
So you're customizing. You're like,
Man,
ooh, look at this.
The number of characters I've created and deleted in Phantasy Star Online.
It's one of the best character creators. It's so fun. Yeah.
And then PSO2, it's
Even more
overwhelming,
in-depth.
kind of how
Yeah.
many.
new age character creators.
Yeah.
Like I think it was like Fallout 4 maybe had such a good one that people were just making like celebrities, fictional characters that like looked like them.
Yeah.
Like no joke. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes if
awesome.
you give me too much control over like jawline shape and
Yeah.
stuff, I will spend way too long.
You get lost a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, well, after playing for 3 hours, I will now start the game.
Yes.
Yeah. Pokemon ain't like that. 3 hours
Nope.
in, I'm past the first gym already.
Yeah.
I love it. Anyway,
That's one thing I love is they're like, oh, well, how many years have you been a trainer for? Oh no, I just started yesterday.
just started yesterday.
And I'm about
just,
to go beat the Elite
and I
Four.
just saved the world.
Yeah.
And I have all the legendaries people thought were just myths, things people
Yeah.
couldn't even imagine being real. I have them in this ball right here.
It obeys my every command.
Yeah. Anyway, it could end the world as we know it.
Yep.
I'm 10.
Yeah. And 40 hours ago, I had a level 1 Caterpie.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it makes sense. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. It's funny. It really makes you think that the other feel like the other trainers are just being lazy.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, 5 minutes ago, I had less.
Come on.
I was less than half as strong as I am now. What's wrong with you?
It's like, or they just have lives and,
Yeah.
and you don't.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be that.
You just eat, sleep, and breathe Pokemon, and they're just like,
Training,
oh yeah,
training.
I happen to also do Pokemon
You're like,
battles in
I
my spare
guess I
time.
have a pet Caterpie, yeah, but also I'm doing this, yeah. That's great. Anyway, guitars, were you done? with
Yeah,
that?
pretty
Sorry.
much. Was there anything else? No, not really.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but I totally get it because my other thing is coffee, is that whole world, and if I had more disposable income, I would have way too many coffee toys.
Yeah.
And multiple espresso machines probably, and like all this dumb stuff. So it's probably good that I don't have all of that disposable income to use on that.
Yeah.
But I do want an espresso machine at some point, since I have the good grinder to go with it.
Yeah.
But someday that'll happen.
So, yeah, one of the things that actually keeps me from buying new guitars is the fact that I know they won't. The 2 I have right now don't get played often enough.
Right? You're like,
If I have more than 2, there's definitely not going to get played often
it's like
enough.
it's fun to like play with it and think about it and dream about it, sort of. And then when you have the money in your hand and you're looking at it, and you're actually faced with that decision, you're like, I'm not going to buy this. Like,
It's like the
I
amount of
totally
money
understand.
to keep all the strings new and fresh and in tune, and then
and it's like,
the humidity changed.
When
Now I
will
have to
you-
adjust all the
yeah.
necks.
it's like when I actually had a lot of store credit at like Retro Game Trader, I'd go in and I'd be like thinking maybe I was going to get this or whatever. And I'm like, often I would leave without getting anything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like, I gotta
So
be wise with my
That's such
purchase.
a thing. Like growing up as a when I was a kid, we didn't have a lot of money, and
Right,
so
no.
but I wanted everything on the
Yeah,
shelf.
all the
I
time.
wanted all the toys.
every toy,
I
every
would walk
video
through
game
the
ever.
toy aisle, and I'd have a list of 20 toys that I wanted that day.
100%. Yeah,
And then once I finally got to the point where I had some disposable income, I was just like,
you get it.
Yeah, I walk into a
Yep.
store and I'm like, I don't want to spend any of my money on any
Yeah,
of
why would I
this.
spend so true. Parents' money, the best. Love
Absolutely.
spending my parents' money. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I mean it's a real thing. It's like it's one thing when you know you'll get use out of it. Like I didn't think twice about once I knew I wanted that grinder, I just bought it. Like
Yeah.
I had the money, I just bought it because like I knew I would use it. I knew it was a good grinder, like good quality, that it'd be worth it and stuff like that. But buying a second and third grinder just for fun because it's a hobby. Now I'm like, oh, I don't
Yeah.
know if I really need that. Like,
It's
Stuff like
unfortunate
that.
though because it's kind of ruined window shopping for me. Because like
oh yeah,
stores aren't fun for me to go into
Mm.
anymore because like, oh yeah, sure, I can actually afford some of the stuff on some of the shelves.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
and I don't care. Yeah, I
None
think
of the things I can afford are things I want, and
Yeah.
and I can't afford anything. If there was anything here, I can't that I want, I can't afford it. So
it's probably like $1,000, $4,000 or something. Yeah. I feel like the fun part can be discovery though.
Yeah.
If you're in a store like and you see something you didn't know existed or like
Yeah.
a version of something you didn't know existed.
yeah, I have to go to
that can be fun.
more pretty unique stores to
Yeah.
experience that
Yeah.
anymore. Like Best Buy is a
Right,
place
Best
that I
Buy.
might have found cool when I was 20.
Yeah.
But now I go into Best Buy and I was like, everything in here is overpriced.
True.
Anything in here that I might want, I can get cheaper on Amazon.
Very true. But actually, so when I said discovery, I thought of Best Buy.
Yeah.
But because of a specific thing that happened where I was in there and we were looking at like DVDs and Blu-rays and stuff, and they had these little steel books, collections of Ultraman.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know that like super old Japanese like sort of kaiju type show? Sort of like Kamen Rider, sort of like Godzilla, like it's sort of, just classic like super Sentai style like
Yeah.
kaiju stuff. And they had like full seasons in steel books for like $15 each.
Yeah.
Like per steel book. I was like so blown away. I bought two of them.
Yeah.
Because like I didn't know that was a thing, and they're sort of cheap. So like that can be fun when you like
remember
just sort of discover.
The first
things,
time I
but-
saw anime DVDs
Oh,
at
yeah.
Best Buy
Blew my
me away a
mind.
little bit.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, is this
is this happening?
Yeah, it's like and that's like when anime started to become a little mainstream
Yeah.
because like
Naruto was brand new.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Yeah.
because like kids who are in high school now, most of them at the very least know what anime is.
Most of them watch
and a
it.
lot of them watch
Like,
it. Yeah.
Especially Demon Slayer,
But yeah, when
Jujutsu
I
Kaisen,
was-
stuff like that.
Especially when I was a young child and into middle school, it's like nobody admitted they were an anime fan. There might have
for real.
There
That was
were
like-
some closeted anime
That
fans
was
in the school, but
ultra super nerd. Like
yeah. But like you had to be close friends with someone before you revealed that you were into
Hey,
anime.
you watch
and then
anime?
you like with trepidation you would be like, I'm into anime. And they're like, oh, me too. And then
You're like,
you realize,
okay, let's
this
talk.
is why we're friends.
Let's talk. Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't until high school and I joined an anime club that
Right.
I found all the other anime nerds in
All
the
the
school.
other ones.
And the thing is we were all the social outcasts of the school.
100%.
We were not. It was still not common and accepted yet
Yep.
in 2005.
it took maybe
and-
almost
yeah.
20 years for it to be really accepted, I think. Yeah. Whereas now it's super normal, like cool to be into anime. Because even when I was, so at that same time, sort of by, osmosis from you, I was getting
Right.
into anime too.
Yeah.
Like 10 to 14 especially, like really going hard. And yeah, I would, if I saw merchandise for something from an anime, like no
Yeah.
way, like it was such this niche thing
Uh-huh.
to us back then, whereas now Target sells tons of anime stuff.
Yeah.
Like a thing I would never imagine being true. Like,
The first time I noticed it was manga at Barnes and Noble.
oh yeah,
That was like the very first time I saw an anime thing
like,
outside
that was
in
cool.
just normal, regular, everyday life. But when I saw the DVDs at Best Buy and
then it's like,
Blockbuster Video for
whoa.
rent, it's like, okay, now
Yeah.
it's becoming mainstream.
Yeah. Well, and at Barnes and Noble, it was 2 bookcases, basically back
Yeah.
then, and now it's half the store.
Yeah.
is manga.
Yeah,
it's
it-
like a major section
Yeah.
of the store. Yeah, huge.
Mm-hmm.
And when we were at Borders, I believe
Yeah.
is what it was, which was a really cool bookstore.
Borders had the bigger anime section.
it was much.
It was bigger
bigger
than Barnes
Yeah.
and Nobles at the time.
and that's
yeah.
where I found the Haruhi Suzumiya light novels.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love this anime. I can't wait
Yeah.
to read these books.
And they had-
and they lived up to it. Still some of my favorite books of all time.
And they had Negima.
They had Negima. They had
Yeah.
all the good stuff, man. Yeah. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
I still am very proud of those on my shelf because I still
No.
have all of the Haruhi in paperback and in hardcover.
Mm-hmm.
I have 2 sets.
Yeah.
I just moved all our books. So we're sort of moving everything out of the downstairs
Yeah.
to the upstairs because we're starting a daycare downstairs. So my wife doesn't have to work at her job anymore with babies and stuff. So that's going to be amazing, first of all. And so we're sort of making our big bedroom, our master bedroom, into sort of a living room kind of thing. And so we moved all the bookshelves in there. So I just did that yesterday, I think, 2 days ago. And they're very heavy,
Uh,
but I got to sort of reorganize a little bit, and it was fun. It's fun to just look at your books and your anime DVDs and stuff
Yeah.
from when I was that age. Some of those
Uh-huh.
DVDs I've had since then,
yeah.
which is really awesome. But yeah,
Yeah. I have some stuff. I have some stuff on my shelf that I've had since high school, like
yeah.
and before. Like I still have all my old Godzilla
Your
VHS
VHSs,
tapes
yeah.
from middle school,
oh, that's awesome.
and then a lot of my books because I was nerdy and into fantasy
Yeah.
and Star Wars books and stuff. So I have. All
Do you
of those
still
from
have
back
that
then.
Game of Thrones book that's like super old, like one of the like?
Yeah,
much
I have
older
I have
covers?
the yellow, purple, and blue and red.
Yeah, like
Ones,
the
yeah.
the covers are very different than what they are now. I just think that's cool. That's like
Yeah, I
you
got
liked
those-
It, you liked it before it was cool.
Yeah,
you
I got
know?
those in like 2006 or so. Yeah,
Yep, before it got super mainstream.
yeah. Well, before the show came out.
Right.
So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been over 15 years since I've read those books. So
Jeez, yeah.
it's getting to be time to read
Yeah.
them again.
Yeah, I really want to reread some stuff too. I want to get more into the Dune series because I loved the first Dune book, and I hear that the next 3 are really good, basically. Also, so
I have
I
a
want to
couple,
get into that.
a couple of shelves of unread books that I'd
Yeah.
like to get into, and I haven't like sat down and read a book in so long.
It can be hard, yeah.
because like I always wind up, if I'm not playing a video game, watching a YouTube video or
Yeah.
something.
It's just easier,
yeah,
you
it
know.
is.
Like, I mean, you can do audiobooks. That's
Yeah.
much easier to
I
take
can.
in.
But you know what I have found with audiobooks and podcasts? I need something to occupy my visual.
Yeah,
If I am sitting and listening to something, it's like I have to have something to do with like my hands and my eyes, and so that's why videos are easy to watch because they occupy both my visual and
Right.
auditory. But yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Like I got all my audiobooks in when I was delivering food for Uber Eats a little bit. Great time for audiobooks.
Yeah.
because you're focused on something, so you're not bored almost. You know.
Yeah, I've done the vast majority of my reading while traveling.
Yeah,
like
it's a good time to do that.
like when I would take the train, the Max to get to work, I would read there,
Yeah.
and then I
It's a
read
good
on
time to do
planes.
that.
But yeah,
And yeah, like right now, I'm so focused on stuff like the national decks and stuff
Yeah.
that I'm not going to stop and read right now because I'm thinking about that, you know, like
Yeah.
I got all that going through my brain.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube lately, and in particular videos on sound system tuning.
Oh, really?
because I'm an
You're a
audio
sound
guy,
guy, yeah.
and it's one of the few areas that I'm not super well acquainted with yet. Is sound system tuning. There's always been a lot of mystery around it, and I feel like I'm finally starting to understand it a lot better.
Okay, nice.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
Yep, man. YouTube videos, you can learn anything. It's really amazing, actually.
Yeah.
I've learned a lot about sort of I've been into videos about like medical science and medicine. And it's really some of it's really interesting to listen to, actually. So
Yeah.
I started on Dr. Mike. I don't know if you know him at all. He's like probably the most prolific, like well-known sort of medical YouTuber.
Okay.
He's like this stupidly good-looking model-esque, doctor. But he actually has really good info and stuff. And then that starts you on a rabbit hole of other medicine videos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Like presenting to the emergency room.
Yeah, he's awesome too. Yeah, he's a doctor also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That channel has-
chubby emu.
Yeah, that it's got a weird name. but-
Chubby emu. Yep, he's very good.
Yeah.
Those are really interesting stories. Yeah.
I watched one on melatonin recently.
Oh yeah, it's messed up.
A kid ate a whole bag of like
way
100
too many
melatonin candies. Yeah.
Yeah, yikes. I guess it's over, huh?
Yeah.
It's been an hour. I gotta get home and play the DLC.
Yeah. I gotta go to bed.
Nah.
It's past my bedtime. I'm tired.
I'm very curious. I'll get back to you. I'm really curious how different it feels after this update. I wonder if it's fixed up a little bit. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, I haven't played in a few months now,
Yeah.
so
It'll be fun to get back into it and to have a lot to do in it again.
yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Good times. I'll take a break from my Pokemon to play some Pokemon, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess if I have to. Well, thank you all for listening. If you stuck it out this long, you're the real MVPs.
That's right.
Keep it going, and why not like and subscribe and all that. If you're watching on YouTube, what up, YouTube people? Please leave a comment, leave your likes and all that. If you're watching if you're listening on Spotify or on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, all those things, please download. It really does mean a lot. Helps us know you're listening. We love those juicy analytics. Just give us all your information.
Want to sink our teeth into it.
Okay. Anyway, follow us on X or Twitter. You know it's Twitter. At the Brothers G Pod. Look at my really cool shiny Kyurem on there. So pretty sick. Brian, anything?
Nope. Good night.
Good night. Sleep tight, everybody.